Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Loreal x Karl Lagerfeld makeup collection that they've just released recently. Now of course this was released posthumous to Karl's death, so I'm not entirely sure if this was a collaboration with his estate, with his team, or if this was just something that was kind of in the works already before he passed. But either way, I am very excited to try it out and share my experience with you guys. This collection features one 16-pan eyeshadow palette as well as 5 color-rich satin finished lipsticks. Each of these is robed in black on black stripes, very edgy, very Karl Lagerfeld, and of course you see his signature stamped in silver on everything. Pricing wise, these come at standard Loreal pricing, $24.90 for the lipsticks and $34.90 for the palette. I for one am all for high fashion brands collaborating with drugstore giants. A few years back, L'Oreal did the collaboration with Balmain, and that collection had some of the most amazing lipstick shades that I have in my collection to date. Everyone gets to take home a piece of Karl Lagerfeld at a reasonable price point. Now, the color selection in this palette may look kind of smoky and grungy when you first take a look at it, but if I were to cover this corner with the cooler toned blues and grays, you'll actually notice this is a very standard, very wearable and versatile neutral palette with some warm tones, a little bit of red and a rose gold peachy tone, but primarily very neutral, very wearable for most people. If you want to change it up for the evening, this is the corner that you can look at, whereas you can keep the rest of the palette for daytime looks very easily. So color story wise, this is definitely a very nicely thought out palette. If you are familiar with L'Oreal's pressed eyeshadows in these 16-pan palettes, you realize they are not exactly the most intense, they are not the most vibrant compared to some eyeshadow formulas. That's not to say they suck, it's just more that they give a very soft and slightly sheerer finish. It takes a little bit more time to build them up. You maybe need a slightly tackier base if you prefer a very intense look. Some of these colors will come off a little bit similar on the eyes because they are not very vibrant or intense on the skin. So what this means is just that even though you get 16 shades in the palette, you're not necessarily going to get 16 very different looks if you wear each one on your eyes or combine, two of these in different variations. Some of the looks, some of these shades are just going to come off looking pretty similar to one another. As mentioned earlier, all 5 lipstick shades come in a satin finish, which means they will impart a certain level of creaminess and shine on the lips. If you have slightly dry lips or you do not like matte finishes, these would feel pretty comfortable. They are also not sheer. You get pretty good color payoff, and L'Oreal Color Rich lipsticks have typically been very opaque and very intense in pigmentation. What is great about this is you can very easily choose to wear it very lightly as a stain or full on for opaque coverage.
Not again. Young stars, the young stars. We the stars, we the stars. The young stars, the young stars. We the stars, we the stars. The young stars, the young stars. Center of attention. Like we're going on a mission. The only one with decisions. Whoa.
I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm going in circles, going in circles. I should get away from here. There's a better place for me, better place for me. Trying to play my symphony, but there's so much noise around, so much noise around. Constantly fighting for space. I need to clear my mind, need to clear my mind. I wanna be empty, be empty, be empty. A sparkle lights a fire, I'm high, I'm a butterfly, a blooming flower, but I am thirsty. A drop of water and another drop of water. Sunlight, I'll soon be rising. I'm a butterfly. How am I supposed to see? If I am in darkness, I am in darkness. Constantly restless worry. I got a gun to my head, a gun to my head. I got a gun to my head, a gun to my head. Got a gun to my head, a gun to my head. I wanna be empty, be empty.
Now, what do I think of the eyeshadow palette? I think in terms of quality and consistency, this is definitely one of the best L'Oreal 16 pan palettes I have tried to date. All of the colors packed on beautifully, they didn't muddy up together. Of course, I did also choose quite different colors. If you were to blend these two together, obviously you're not going to see too much of a difference. Hence why I feel they could have gone with slightly more contrasting shades than some of these here. You would get very, very similar looks. You know, if you tried to blend these together, they would all muddy up into the same shade. Like you saw earlier, a couple of these shades were not picking up too well with a brush, so I had to go on with a finger just to pack on a little bit more intensity. However, I am happy to say that applying this softer, dusty lilac shade on top of the deep navy blue didn't make the whole look go muddy. It actually did a very nice gradient from the purple to the navy. With this palette, I can see a lot more look options, a little bit more versatility, definitely. Even if you have warm toned skin, I kind of feel like the choice of cool tone shades here are really dusky and smoky, so they actually look really nice and play off very well against warm skin undertones. My only concern for this palette is that I am not certain this would show up all that well on very deep skin tones. Some of them may end up just looking quite ashy and they could all just blend into one same color again. So this I definitely recommend more for pale to maybe medium tan skin tones. As for the 5 lipsticks, I think the shades are gorgeous, they are very fashion forward, they are very vibrant and fun. Of course, you have 2 slightly more neutral shades for daily wear, but the 3 that are a little bit more bright are just gorgeous. I think all 5 shades would look absolutely gorgeous, whether you have very fair complexion or very deep skin tone. These are just colors that will work on so many people. The only thing to look out for would be the fact that these are creamy satin formulas. They are not exactly as opaque as a matte lipstick would be. So if you have very, very dark or pigmented lips, then some of these may not come out color true on you, if you know what I mean. Something like the bright orange red may come off like a deep red on brown pigmented lips. If you do get a chance, I do still highly suggest going to swatch these and seeing how they pop off against your skin, because I think for the price tag, these are beautifully packaged, they are great quality, the colors are gorgeous, and it's a nice little piece of Karl Lagerfeld memorabilia, a little bit of high fashion heaven in drugstore price tags, so why not? As always, I hope you guys had fun and found this helpful. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!